Hi guys, this is Rachel. I know it's been a while since I've done a vlog. This summer has been absolutely crazy. Like when I'm not traveling, I'm at work and in that weird work period of being like coming home off of being on vacation and then getting adjusted back into real life and then I'm gone again, which I'm definitely not complaining about. That's just why I have not been around that much on my blog. Also, may I say that outfits in the last 4 weeks have been horrible. I barely put on a full face of makeup in the last month. I've barely worn anything but gym clothes in the last month because I've been studying the Olympics with the 2 little girls I teach, and every morning we've been having an extensive PE time, which requires me to be disgustingly sweaty. We've also been going through one of the hottest Virginia summers we've had in an extremely long while. Suffice it to say, today on my day off, I decided to take full advantage of the fact that I did not have to sweat, and I dressed up. So I'm recording a vlog. Hopefully the house will stay relatively quiet. Almost my entire family's home, and it's hard to get a good vlog. I have been enjoying watching the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. I downloaded it for $6 on iTunes. I've been using it as a reward after I finish editing this particular project I'm working on. And once I'm done working on that, I reward myself with an episode, or 3 or 4, of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. Highly recommend if you like to laugh. Now, the main point of this vlog today is to share with you what I've been reading lately, because many of you probably don't know this about me, some of you do, but I love to read, and I sometimes forget how much I love to read until I get among books again, and it's insane how much I love books. Good books. I don't always love books that are a waste of my time, but I've been trying to set aside time every morning before work to read, and it's better than caffeine for getting your mind going. I feel like I've accomplished something, I have something interesting to think about for the day, and it's really, really fun. So, in that light, and because you know I'm not exactly a halfway creature, I am in the middle of all of these babies. I'm going to go through them one by one, tell you a little bit about them, and yeah, you can tell me I'm crazy. I am, but I will finish them, and that's the good thing about me. I do have follow through. I've had to learn it, but I do have it. First up is this delightful thing. Dorothy Sayers writes the best mysteries. I like her mysteries far better than I like Agatha Christie, which I know is practically murder to say that, but I do. And this volume showed up on my family's bookshelf the other day, and even though I knew I had another stack of books that I should be reading, I had to read this. These are all the Lord Peter Wimsey short mysteries. They're about the length of the shorter Sherlock Holmes mysteries, and so far they're amazing. I've not read any of her short stories, just her full-length mysteries. Those are equally good, so highly recommend the Lord Peter Wimsey mysteries. Next up is Frost on My Mustache by Tim Moore. I always try to call him Tim Keller. Who is Tim Keller? I feel like he's someone important. Maybe. Anyway, Frost on My Mustache is the Arctic exploits of a lord and a loafer. So basically, this guy is a kind of spineless British journalist. He's married to an Icelandic woman, and basically he gets fascinated with the accounts of this Victorian British explorer who was a lord and entirely opposite him in personality and daring do. So basically he follows in his footsteps across the European Arctic, and it's hilarious so far. So funny. So funny. So many hilarious anecdotes. And it's not a new book. It was published in the late 90s, but I found it at a used bookstore and have not been sorry I bought it yet. So that's this one. Next up, I have not officially begun reading this one, but it's been on my list for a long time. The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman, by Laurence Sterne. And this book is actually one of the cases of my loving to, especially in British literature or Victorian literature, to hear something referenced that a character is reading or the author read or whatever, and then I read that book, and then if something's referenced in that, I read that book, and I just get off on rabbit trails. So Tristram Shandy actually came out of I bought it at the same used bookstore, but my desire to read it was born out of doing a lengthy annotated study on Anne of Green Gables, where I read the letters of Lucy Maud Montgomery to her pen pal. Fiance or pen pal? I think it was just a pen pal at that point. I'm confused. Anyway, she talked about how much she loved Tristram Shandy. So like from Anne of Green Gables to the letters of Lucy Maud Montgomery to Tristram Shandy, and from whence I do not know, but I'm excited. Next is Cheerful Money. I have started this very briefly. I've mostly just gotten through the preface, but this is about the last days of Wasp Swindle. Wasp Swindle. Wasp, as far as I can judge, is the term for white, affluent, Southern Protestant families. This is about somebody's family. It's a memoir, and it's apparently hilarious, and I just like the cover. Covers get me every time. I do judge a book by its cover, because if you put good time into a book and it's actually a quality book, the cover should reflect it. That could be the problem with the publisher, and I'm sorry for all the books I judge that have bad covers, but I do judge a book by its cover. Sometimes. This book, I'm most of the way through, Love Letters from Cell 92, and these are the correspondence between Dietrich Bonhoeffer and his fiancée, Maria von Wedemeyer? It's got a W in there. Anyway, while he was in prison, and oh my gosh, it is such a good book and so inspiring but sad, because you know how it ends. He never got out of prison, and beautiful, and I just love it to bits. I keep a whole list on my phone for quotes from this book, so I remember them because it's a great book. And then we've got Moby Dick. I poured something on here. I don't remember what. I have a bad habit of eating and drinking while I read. But I'm slowly making my way through Moby Dick. Herman Melville has a bit of the same problem that I find in Victor Hugo, which is where I don't know if he's being paid per word, but he goes off on random essays practically on things. For instance, cetology. There's a whole entire chapter on different kinds of whales, which I guess is great, but I feel like he really just put that in there because he needed filler, which is such a judgment. I'm sorry for that. But anyway, I would love to know what you're reading. If you wanted to do a vlog or just a list on your blog or whatever. I just have this endless list of books I want to read and books I need to read and books I want to reread, like the Anne of Green Gables series. There have been several things recently that have popped up that make me so excited to go back and read that. But obviously I have so many other things. There's a book directly behind the camera, Dombey and Sons, which I still need to read because it's on my bucket list to read all of Dickens, and I think I've gotten through 14 of his 28 novels. Halfway there. Whoa. Anyway, if you have any absolutely must-read books, leave those in a comment, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!